Hi, welcome back. In this training, we're going to focus on an introduction to building therapeutic relationships. Now, this orientation series is, of course, focused on a new residential counselor. But even if you are an experienced residential counselor, in most settings, there's always going to be new students coming in. So even if you are well established as a residential counselor, this really is going to apply to that new student. So just as a way of background, there's lots of different approaches to counseling and therapy, right? Some focus on the internal dynamics that drive behavior. Some focus on emotions, some focus more on thoughts, some focus on body awareness, etc. But it seems like regardless of the approach, they all credit the establishment of a therapeutic relationship as being a key factor if you're going to see progress, change, transformation in your clients. Right? The bottom line is that healthy relationships support emotional, mental, and behavioral health. So how do you form therapeutic relationships with young people, many of whom are going to have good experiential reasons to not trust adults? Well, there's two main ways: listening and playing. As the adult, you have to create opportunities to demonstrate your desire to listen. And it's just asking basic, I want to get to know you kind of questions. What are your favorite movies? Your favorite TV shows? What kind of music do you listen to? What kind of sports do you like playing? Or what kind of sports do you like watching? Or what celebrities do you follow on some level or another? Who are your favorite people? And the answers don't matter as much as you being able to convey your interest in the answers. That's how you convey your interest in the client. You might call them students, you might call them residents, but your interest in the young person, because you're listening to them. And then play. Play has been called the language of childhood. If you want to form therapeutic relationships, perhaps the most powerful way to do that is to actively play with your clients. Join them in their play. Right now, some of you may be working with relatively young people, early elementary school, others right up through high school. You're going to have to meet your clients in play where they're at. Right? So a couple terms when it comes to play: parallel play versus cooperative play. Parallel play, which is commonly seen in toddlers and younger elementary school age kids, is when kids are playing the same next to each other. Maybe they're both building Legos, but they're not really playing together. That's okay. That's a developmental stage, right? So you are forming a therapeutic relationship if you just get down on the floor and build Legos while your client is building Legos. But a lot of times you're going to try and move your clients toward cooperative play. And that's just like what it sounds, that the play involves having to cooperate on some fashion with the other players. It might be shooting baskets, and the point is you can passively be part of that experience by just staying on the sidelines and sort of observing, but that's supervising, but it's not playing with your clients or students. So you want to get right in there and play with them. And sometimes, especially if you're working with teenagers, you may not have the skills or maybe just the physical energy to play with them. at least at the level they're playing. So just tip one is you don't have to be as good at basketball to play basketball with them. You don't even necessarily have to play basketball. You can just be present and do play-by-play. You can sort of narrate what you're seeing. Oh, Johnny has the ball. He dribbles toward the basket. He passes the ball to Paul. Paul shoots. Oh, it bounces off the rim. That makes you part of the play, and you make it fun. And the play itself goes so much better when adults are actively involved in it. And so that shared physiological experience of being with a person when your heart rate's up, that creates a therapeutic connection. So focus on listening and playing with your clients. A couple other things you can focus on that will be helpful in the building of therapeutic relationships. Focus on basic physical needs, right? Are people thirsty? Do they need food? Is their clothing appropriate and fitting right? So are they comfortable? Are they safe in what they're doing? So focus on basic physical needs, and then focus on basic social needs, right? The need for nurturance, for understanding, to be able to co-regulate with a relaxed person. And perhaps most of all, on a thematic level, focus on supporting and improving and developing your client's sense of belonging, that he or she belongs in your treatment program, in your therapeutic group that you're working within. That sense of belonging is going to be one of the key features that's going to really determine how much your client is going to find the experience you're trying to present to really be transformational. So, get to know your students, listen to them, play with them, focus on their basic physical and social needs, and develop those relationships. And that's really probably the most important thing you should focus on in the first 2 weeks with a new client. All right, good luck with that. Have fun with it. And I'll see you back here to talk about an introduction to building teams and teamwork. Thanks.